Shalom. Giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, YAHAWAH, BaHa SHAM, YAHAWASHI, BaHa SHAM, RAWCHAA, QADASH. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. I'm going to get right into it. I don't want to make this too long, but as you can see, the title of this video is, all right, this is what Vocab alone was set up to link us to. All right. And as I play this video, you will understand what I'm saying, especially those of you who have been watching, as we've literally told you step by step what the enemy would do and what he was going to do before they did it. And it's happening right before our face. Now, this is a video off of the page Arrows of Indignation 144. The title of this video is Babylon, which is American cities, all right, on high alert after Hamas former leader calls for a day of jihad, says Esau. Now, the word jihad means a struggle or fight against the enemies of Islam. All right. And if any of you have been around, for the past, 7 years or so, 8 years maybe, if you remember when Vocab Malone first came out, all right, what was his, biggest attempt? His attempt was to link the Israelites to Islam, all right, to Islamic terrorists. And he did that hardcore for some time. All right. And I remember we called him out for it. All right. And he sort of, stopped, and started to go into more history of One West and this and this and that. But let's not forget, okay, ultimately, his very beginning stages were predicated and founded upon linking the Israelites to Islamic terrorists. All right. So with everything that's going on, all right, let's go ahead and play this video and then we'll get a few scriptures. And I don't want to make this too long. And you'll see what I'm saying.
We're back with the Fox News alert. Major U.S. cities on high alert today as a former Hamas leader declares today a global day of jihad, urging protesters to join the war against Israel. So police from Los Angeles to New York City.
And Hamas, like Al-Qaeda, like all of these various different groups that pop up, in opposition and are used, to label so that ultimately things can get done. They do particular things, they attack, or whatever, are set up by the left hand themselves. Okay? That's how they get down. They'll fund a group, ultimately have that group go and do something, all right, that can be considered offensive, or use that group to do something that's considered offensive, all right, so that they can blame, all right, and label, all right, other people, all right, who may have a belief that ties with that system or whatever, all right, and accuse them. Check this out.
They are stepping up security as the FBI urges the public to be vigilant. Great. I love when they tell us that. As more mass protests are planned across the nation. So here we go. They said 36,000 NYPD officers get in uniform. I don't want to hear any excuses. You got to.
If you have a vacation plan, you're not going.
Right. Come back. We should have 39,000, but that's another story.
But I love that. I think that these are the men and women that protect us, and whoever's in charge, I guess it's the commissioner that's saying this. I love that he or she is saying, who's our commissioner now, is saying, you have to come back to work.
Yeah, which is happening for good reason when you look at these rallies and protests that occurred. And Lawrence, you got a chance to see it. I mean, it's.
You best believe a lot of these protests, which a lot of people are seeing things for what they are, all right, and standing with, so-called Palestinians and all of that. But a lot of these, are led by agent provocateurs, okay? And it's about to get ugly.
I've covered a lot of rallies, a lot of protests. I was all out of the street when the Summer of Love 2020. This is the worst I've ever seen. And it is the chance. We have gone from no justice, no peace, to open jihad. This is some of the comments we found.
See that? No justice, no peace. All right, which is Jake. All right, because you Israelites are going to be tied to this. Okay. Everything that these devils have set up, civil rights, Black Lives Matter, so many groups, it's not coming to me now, but there was a particular group, that was tied to BLM. But anyway, no justice, no peace, all right, to the day of the jihad, all right? You see they're linking the two. And again, Fox News, okay, CNN News, Democrat, Republic, all of these things are tools of the elite, all right, to control narratives, all right, and, all right, stories.
Yesterday.
Where'd you go? You went to Hunter College.
Oh, Hunter
right?
College. Why are you here today?
Free Palestine. I stand with the Palestinian people unequivocally.
I support decolonization and liberation of Palestinian people and the end of a mass genocide in the Gaza Strip.
Talking about the genocide of the kids being beheaded?
That's false. That is actually false.
When you see the kids that have been beheaded and the women that are raped, how do you feel about that?
I don't know where to start from that.
Israel is notorious for creating propaganda that sides their one-sided massacre against Palestinians.
That was already proven. That didn't really happen.
So they're already taking talking points that they know people are using, all right, and they're making sure that people see them on these news platforms, all right, so that anyone who has this idea, all right, can be tied to these protesters, okay? This devil is sick, man. Check this out.
Not verified.
Women did not get raped.
No. I've not seen any proof.
And they're using the term grape and children beheaded, all right, as a targeting point for emotions, all right? And as these people seem as though they're pro-Palestine, it's making people out to be what? Okay, all right, with the slaughtering of women and children, okay? Again, propaganda is being pushed, all right, so that they can ultimately bring their accusation. Go ahead.
That if it did happen, I haven't seen it.
Like, they get attacked for no reason.
The children got attacked for no reason? The kids that were beheaded?
Beheaded? Yeah, apparently. Like,
But they were Jewish kids.
Wait, Jewish kids?
The U.S. military money that goes there, $4 billion a year.
And again, on the contrary, the U.S. media has never, all right, asked these same questions about, all right, the bombings and constant terror that has been brought forth by the small hatters to those Palestinians, which to hell with all of them. All right. Ultimately, we're for our people. But again, you have to call right and wrong is wrong. You have to call a spade, right?
Should stop going to Israel to support their war crimes.
So there's two things that happened there. You have the kids that were there, that were indoctrinated, that were clueless to what was going on there. And then you have the other kids.
Indoctrinated. So they're getting ready to have an infodemic. That's a part of what's coming, an infodemic, to where particular information is going to, all right, be lethal and deadly and terroristic. All right. And if you have these talking points, again, you're going to be able to be placed in a category which could have you jailed, all right, disappeared. All right. And this is why we're going to need the covering of YAHAWASHI. All right. This devil is very, very slick and clever.
They were there. They had masks that looked like jihadists. They looked like straight up jihadists because they didn't want their identity to be shown there. And they were openly spewing rhetoric that Hamas is saying, Pete. And I had this conversation with you off air. The question is, are these people a risk to America now that are spewing this type of nonsense?
Are these people a risk to America? And they're protesting, they're outside, okay? And who do you think this is going to trickle down to? All right, now again, Vocab Malone's claim to fame, all right, in the very beginning was hardcore linking the Israelites to these very ideologies, jihadists, okay, Islamic extremists and everything else. All right. And he pushed that hard for some time. All right. And then he just went into the whole, trying to make, each and every Israelite look as crazy as possible. All right. Which you do got some crazy ass Israelites who do help him in his agenda. All right. But just as Nero did in Rome. OK, what did he do? He took the talking point of the followers of YAHAWASHI constantly, saying that eventually in the future that, Babylon would burn, the fire that was coming with judgment in the end. And he burnt down a particular temple or stadium, Salaki. He burnt down a stadium that was associated with the god Jupiter. And he said, see, here it is. They're talking about fire coming. Right. They're talking about fire coming and boom, they burned down his temple. They're against our idols. And what happened? He blamed the Jews, in particular, the followers of YAHAWASHI. All right. And legalized, burning them, putting them to death, jailing them, executing them on sight and so forth. All right. These are the times that's coming down the pipe, which is why we continuously told you Israelites, prepare your spirit for the straight gate. All right. And the Lord is going to protect us. But again, these are the accusations that are coming from your enemy, because he knows that he has but a short time. And he knows, again, in times past, he knew that he had to destroy the temple or take away that daily sacrifice, which is now fulfilled in YAHAWASHI's sacrifice. But also we're making our bodies a living sacrifice, and we act as a temple. All right, where these daily sacrifices, all right, or going up to the Heavenly Father, and he's hearing our cry. So what does he have to do? He has to demonize our talking points. All right. And he's getting ready to link us in the near future. May not happen tomorrow, may not happen next week, may not happen next month. All right. But as this gradualism goes, OK, and the famine of the word, all right, prophecy is fulfilled. This is going to be a big part of it.
Well, I think if you're looking at what cities are doing across America today,
let's rewind that talking point.
Clearly, our authorities think they are. By the way, the word jihad, look at the size of that crowd.
That's at Columbia, different school.
Columbia Hunter, NYU. Yep. But this is the way our foreign policy departments.
Hold on, let me rewind it some more. Hold up.
There's two things that happened there. You have the kids that were there, that were indoctrinated, that were clueless to what was going on there. And then you had the other kids that were there that had masks that looked like jihadists. That looked like straight up jihadists because they didn't want their identity to be shown there. And they were openly spewing rhetoric that Hamas is saying, Pete. And I had this conversation with you off air. The question is, are these people a risk to America now that are spewing this type of nonsense?
Well,
now, when you go to the editions of Esther, okay, when there was a letter written by the king, he talked about how Haman, who wanted us executed, stated that we, the Israelites, all right, were likened unto terrorists, rebellious, all right, antagonistic to us establishing our kingdom. Okay, somebody can post that in the comment board.
I think if you're looking at what cities are doing across America today, clearly our authorities think they are. By the way, the word jihad, look at the size of that crowd.
That's at Columbia, different school.
Columbia
University.
NYU. Yep. But this is the way our foreign policy departments, history departments, and others in universities are aligned. They are aligned against America, against Israel, anti-Zionist, anti-Jewish, pro-Palestinian, pro-Arab.
You see that? You see what he just said, right? So the fix is in. We already see where this is going.
Pro-decolonization, which means basically code for getting rid of anything Judeo-Christian, anything.
See, in that movie Black Panther, all right, which was full of propaganda, and Jake fell for it. You had the term colonizer, the colonizer, you know? And they're tying all of these talking points into this for a reason. Okay?
Western civilization. And they'll say that, well, jihad can mean anything. There's violent jihad, and then there's
inner resistance or jihad cultural.
It might even be a
jihad.
breakfast cereal.
It's whatever you want it to be.
You know what I noticed about the people that you talked to? You had that one lady with the mask who is a denier. She doesn't believe that anything that we've been reporting on is happening. These women that are crying, saying, my child was taken from the music festival and we can't find her. The dad who says that, she just believes they're standing in front of the camera and they're actors and they're getting paid to say this. And then you have the guy who you were saying...
As if, all right, the Edomite has not used crisis actors and has not been, you know, caught numerous times. All right. in the past. Come on, man. You actually believe, all right, that a group of individuals got on motorcycles and just rolled up in that thing, kidnapping people, and just drove off with them? That you be the judge.
What about the women, or what about the babies that were beheaded? And it sounded like he didn't know about
He was
that.
so confused. But
He's there protesting, but doesn't know the information.
Lightly educated. They didn't do any research. Yeah, I would love to see you show up with pictures. Hey, I just want to take a look at my phone. Is this fictitious? These actors?
We've seen on other campuses, though, Palestinian activists ripping those posters off the wall and saying it's not true.
Right.
I mean, it's an alternate universe.
I just want to clarify. When you
see, that's the thing. If you say it's a lie and you downplay it, then you don't give a damn about the innocent women and children who were, you know, beheaded and raped, you know. But then when we talk about these very same talking points happening to our people, all right, past and present, okay, it came out what happened to those immigrants was happening to those people coming over here, okay, in the borders, what happened in Haiti. Okay, what happens, you know, in West Africa, different parts of Africa. Okay, I mean, it's constant evils, all right, and rape, robbery, murder from these people. And when you bring those things up, shut up, whatever, you're crying, get over it. It didn't happen to you. So there's no way really to win with these people outside of Yahawah, BaHa, YAHAWASHI sending protection for us. All right, and that's what I'm going to get into and close this out.
The people with the mask, the N95 mask, they're not wearing the mask for COVID. They were passing these out at the event to conceal people's identity. Because there's been some companies now saying, you know what, if we find out that you're a part of this hateful rhetoric, we're not going to hire you. So
these are the draconian measures that's coming down the pipe. If you having, you know, a particular belief, okay, that goes against the small hats, that goes against how America was founded, that goes against Judeo-Christian, which has been one of the most terroristic groups of people that have ever stepped foot in this earth. All right, Christian, Judeo-Christian Edomites, all right, who slaughtered, raped, robbed, murdered, colonized, okay? If you have a talking point against those, they'll just say, well, you don't care about Israel, and then boom. You can be put into this category. You can lose your job. You cannot get hired. You can be what? Separated from, all right, this society, which is where this is going. The two horns like a lamb, speaking as a dragon. Okay? They're openly letting you know where this is going.
There's an effort to cover their faces, both with other masks that are N95, obviously there, and also the scarves that they're using.
And again, there are people there who are really, you know, have this mindset, you know, that they're tired of the war crimes of, you know, Israel, yada, yada, yada. You know, they want to stand for the the Palestinians. But at the forefront of these, you know, uprisings, all right, or a lot of agent provocateurs. OK, hell, the brother was talking about how Hamas, all right, is pretty much funded by British intelligence. And they fund and set up these particular groups to get across what they want. All right. And to link. All right. Just like Trump, to link particular people with particular mindsets, particular talking points to them. And again, this is what Vocab Malone was set up for. To link us to. Okay.
Cover themselves. We also talk with, I'm sorry, Pete, go ahead.
No.
We also talk with some of the Jewish students there on campus. This is what one had to say.
people are definitely scared. And for
Judah.
honestly, you could say it's for good reason when your classmates are calling for you to be killed and supporting the raping of women and the capture of Holocaust survivors and the beheading of children and of people.
So, Pete, that was when they, the police gave them the flag back because one of the Hamas protesters took the flag away, assaulted one of the girls, and they had to arrest them.
Because under the doctrine of Hamas, killing a Jew leads to glory.
You heard that? And just like Nero did, they're going to take particular talking points of the doctrine, because we ourselves ain't saying we're going to go out here and take vengeance, but we're telling them when the Lord comes back, okay, he's going to take vengeance. We go to Revelation 2. We bring out Esau being the end of the world, the book of Obadiah. They're going to use all of these talking points, and that's what Vocab has been doing this whole time, to paint us as, all right, actual, perpetuators of terror, instilling it in, particular Israelites who do crazy things. All right, the few who went out and actually, took the sword and did things. All right, they make that the end all be all of what we're all about. All right. When the number one domestic terrorist in America has been the Edomite Christian. Anyway.
These groups are ultimately protesting for mass genocide. If they got what they wanted, it would be mass genocide of Jews.
Their God teaches them to do this?
Well, their interpretation of the Quran and the Hadith inside Islam justifies violence against infidels, which includes any Jew, any Christian, anyone who does not believe.
Non-believer.
There you go.
52 minutes after the top of the hour. Heavy conversations.
All right. And yep, this is that shameful spewing. But at the same time, there's a lot of propaganda. Now, let me get the book of Sirach, the 51st chapter, and I'll close this out. See, and who was the ones, all right, keeping it 100 and telling you the real deal about being a Hebrew Israelite and what ultimately we're going to have to go through to get to the kingdom. Okay? You think they just go ignore us, huh? That's what these particular teachers are telling y'all. Oh, we're not going to have to go through any persecution. You're not going to have to be tested. Come on now. Sirach 51 and 1. I will thank thee, O Lord and King, and praise thee, O God, my Savior. I do give praise unto thy name, for thou art my defender and helper, and hast preserved my body from destruction and from the snare of the slanderous tongue. Okay, so not only are we going to be delivered from the destruction, all right, but from the slanderous tongue, as there is going to be an accusation. Okay, so the famine of the word is near. All these videos are getting ready to be taken off the net. Okay, so this is why you was to use this grace period to root yourself in the faith. Okay, thou hast preserved my body from destruction and from the snare of the slanderous tongue and from the lips that forge lies, and has been my helper against mine adversaries, and has delivered me according to the multitude of thy mercies and greatness of thy name from the teeth of them that were ready to devour me, and out of the hands of such that sought after my life, and from the manifold afflictions which I have. And a lot of you think that Vocab is just this pet little, no, the Vocab alone wants your ass, all right, destroyed. Okay? He's ready to devour you. All right? You look at the smile and the smirk. These Edomites hate you. Okay? When they see us out on those streets, the reason they put so much attention towards it is because they know in the back of their head that they're fugitives. They know in the back of their head that if this is true, they're through. So what does any fugitive do when a witness comes out against them? They make sure they smear the witness. And if they could, they get the witness out of the way. And the Lord has set up 2 witnesses. All right. And out of the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 shall he that is worthy to be put to death be put to death. And the judgment is coming to these Edomites. Okay. But the thing is, it's not going to be by our own arms, by our own guns, by our own, trying to, rise up against him. And that's what they're using this situation to tie us to. All right. From the choking of fire on every side, and from the midst of a fire, which I kindle not. So it's getting ready to be fires in the form of crazy situations happening on the earth. All right. And we're going to be in the midst of it, and we're going to be blamed for it. A fire which we kindle not. You see? And at the forefront of this all are the elites. From the depth of the belly of hell, a difficult, a situation. It don't mean we're going to be literally, in hell, crying to the Lord. We are in hell. This is hell. Okay, to where we've been put in this crazy situation. We've been raised up through the Holy Spirit, all right, to bring out this word, to preach the second coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, teach our people that they're Israelites, proclaim all of the judgments that are coming, all right, while this man is ruling. Okay, that puts us in a very, very difficult situation. You see? By an accusation to the king from an unrighteous tongue. That's what's happening. An accusation to the king, all right, from an unrighteous tongue. My soul drew near even to death. My life was near to hell beneath. All right. The grave, man. Hell just means the grave. It says they compassed me on every side. There was no man to help me. I looked for the succor of men, but there was none. A lot of people are getting ready to flip on you as they put your face on the news. OK, but it's all going to flip on them. But there's going to be a point of very, very difficult uncomfort that we're coming into. All right. And it's not the best message, but it's the right message. OK, some of us are going to be beheaded eventually because the charagma's coming. Right. Then thought up I upon thy mercy. Think about the victory. All right. O Lord, and upon thy acts of old, how thou deliverest such as wait for thee and savest them out of the hands of thine enemies. All right. Then lifted I up my supplications from earth and prayed for deliverance from death. And this is what we have to do, man. We got to pray. We got to put these videos out, because the time is short. My mind has been stuck, on this work, on the ministry. It's hard to get into anything else. It's hard to even talk to people outside of the, the body. It's just like we're focused on what we got going on here. Extra stuff, that I was into. It's hard to get into it like right now. It's like so much happening and so much required of us as we're making our bodies as a living sacrifice, man. All right. So we got to pray to the Lord. It says, I called upon the Lord, the Father of my Lord, that he would not leave me in the days of my trouble and in the time of the proud when there was no help. See, I called on the Lord, the Father of my Lord, the Father of my Lord. I called upon the Lord, the Father of my Lord. I will praise thy name continually. All right. And sing praises with thanksgiving. So was my prayer heard. And the prayer of the elect is going to be heard, man. OK. For thou savest me from destruction and deliverest me from the evil time. Therefore will I give thanks and praise thee and bless thy name, O Lord. All right. And this is what I was talking about, the additions to Esther. All right. The 13th chapter. All right. It's in the Apocrypha. All right. And this is basically the mindset that Haman brought to the king. See, Haman. This is why we tie Vocab Malone to Haman. All right. Verse 4 declared unto us. All right. The additions to Esther 13. And 4 declared unto us, this is what Haman declared, that in all nations throughout the world there was scattered a certain malicious people that had laws contrary to all nations and continually despised the commandments of kings, so that the uniting of our kingdoms honorably intended by us could not go forward. Okay. See, Vocab is pro Edomite supremacy. That's what he's fighting for. That's what he's standing for. And the very fact that he did that video yesterday, all right, and talked about what's happening over there in Gaza and did not bring up any of the atrocities that have happened to those Palestinians for all of these years, let you know what this is all about. Okay, so game plan is getting ready to go out of the door for you Israelites, man. Okay? Therefore, we have commanded that all they that are signified in writing you by Haman, who is ordained over the affairs and is next to us, shall with all their wives and children be utterly destroyed by the sword of their enemies without all mercy and pity. So ultimately, okay, this is the mindset that they're going to push about the Israelites. So that's what he was set up for. All right. And he's behind, you know, the even more people. And ultimately, you know, YAHAWASHI eventually brought out Haman's true intent, and he was hanged on the very gallows he tried to set up for us, the Israelites, to be hung. And ultimately, it all centered around the fact that Mordecai didn't bow to him. See? What we're doing is a form of what Mordecai did. We're not bowing to you Edomites. See? The remnant would no longer stay up on him that smote them. So that's all I wanted to get into. Shalom.